Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, the 27th of March, and we have all the news. It has gone crazy out there, you guys. Good morning, Super T and Denise Bergson and Wolfram. Thank you for doing all of the Modly Mod stuff. Good morning, Christine and Lori Ann. And Lori Ann, I don't know about you, but this winter is kicking my behind too. Good morning, Tammy Bogard. And let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I get everyone. Jason JJ and Tammy CA, Colorado Mountain Girl, Dizzy. Good morning. So, in super sad news, I do have to report that voice actor in Star Wars, Clive Reville, has passed away at 94. May the force be with him and also with you. My recovering Catholics, you know that one. And then my Episcopalians, Catholic Lights, you know that one. Good morning, Factual Lie. Yeah, we're supposed to get storms like cold rain the next couple days, and I would like to RSVP no to that if I possibly could. The legendary voice actor behind one of the Star Wars franchise's most chilling villains died just weeks before his 95th birthday. Clive Revell, best known for playing the voice of Emperor Palpatine in The Emperor Strikes Back, died on March 11th at a care facility in Sherman Oaks, California. The two-time Tony nominee's daughter, Kate, revealed he had been battling dementia, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Good morning, greedy bloke. He was born on April 18th, 1930, in Wellington, New Zealand, and started working as an accountant before he abruptly decided to exchange financial documents for stage scripts. That is really interesting because most people with a more analytical mind, they tend not to enjoy or really like dealing with more emotional stuff. That tends not to be their jam. So it's interesting that he had both of those parts of his brain going at the same time. Now, he transitioned into becoming a theatrical actor in his early 30s and made his Broadway debut in the show Mr. Pickwick at the Gerald Schofield Theater, formerly the Plymouth Theater. Interesting. The versatile performer scored two Tony Award nominations in back to back projects in the early 60s. He was first nominated for Best Feature Actor in a musical for his character of Bob Lee Hoto in Irma la Douce, but he lost to Dick Van Dyke in Bye Bye Birdie. Well, Dick Van Dyke, I guess it would happen. And what in the name of nightmare fuel is that animal supposed to be? Because that just looks like a demoned pig brought to life. Now, 2 years later, he was nominated for Best Actor for his performance as Fagin in the musical Oliver. At, as the star was building a reputation for himself on stage, including appearances in the BBC's Sunday Night Theatre episodes, he rounded out his resume by acting in the 1950s television show The Adventures of Robin Hood and movies like Kaleidoscope and Phantom alongside Raquel Welch. Now, he returned to the major award circuits in 1972 when he was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for his role as Carlo Carlucci in the film Avante. I have not heard any of these, but I do know Star Wars. One of the veteran actor's most renowned roles hit the big screen in 1980 when he voiced the Emperor in George Lucas's popular franchise, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. He delivered a classic line, "There's a great disturbance in the Force." Now, according to the Dallas Observer, Revel was given 3 takes to record the film's iconic line. The final take was eventually used in the hit film. The actor went on to star or voice other characters in Star Wars video games like Dodonna in Star Wars X-Wings, an Imperial officer in Star Wars X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter, and 3 additional roles in Star Wars The Old Republic. Now, he spent most of his later years voice acting for video games like The Hobbit and took on roles like Alfred in 1992's Batman the Animated Series and Galileo in The Snorks. The distinguished performer had two divorces and welcomed a daughter named Kate during his second marriage to film producer Susie Score Revell. So, Godspeed and may the force be with you, even though you voiced Emperor Palpatine and you gave birth to Rey. We forgive you and we wish that you have a peaceful ending. Now, in other sad news, it looks like Bobby Sherman is dealing with a fairly critical cancer diagnosis. And thank you so much, Kelly, for a super sticker. I get to use my fancy pen that hasn't been stolen yet. I mean, this is like a Christmas miracle, you guys. My kids have been are off school for nearly an entire week, and my pen has not been stolen. Now, I'm not saying that today's a day to go buy a lotto ticket, but this is pretty lucky in the Mo house. In the Mo household, that is a Christmas miracle. And thank you so much for your super sticker. Bobby Sherman has been diagnosed with cancer. On Tuesday, March 25th, Brigitte Plublan, the former Teen Idol's wife, shared news of his health battle on Facebook. To all of Bobby Sherman's cherished fans, she began the post, which featured throwback photos of Sherman. As many of you know, Bobby has been retired for some time and is no longer able to participate in cameos, sign autographs, or make appearances. Now, she added of her husband, aged 81, it is with a heavy heart that we share that Bobby has recently been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. During this challenging time, we kindly appreciate, your respect for our privacy. Thank you so much for remembering him. We really appreciate it. Oh, it looks like they might have taken that Facebook post down or made it private. Now, born in California, Sherman became a teen idol in the 1960s and early 70s. Early on, he found a mentor in Rebel Without a Cause actor Sal Mino, who helped him secure a recording contract, which eventually helped him land a gig on the music show Shindig in 1964. I don't know. I always thought he was a singer, but I could be wrong. I just remembered Davy Jones because that was who, in the new, oh gosh, Brady Bunch, that's who Marsha really liked and thought was dreamy was Davy Jones. 4 years later, he landed a starring role on the 1968 Western series Here Comes the Brides, where he played Jeremy, the lead's shy brother. Throughout his career, Sherman had several charting hits, including the single Little Women, or Woman, which landed at number 3 on the Hot 100 and sold more than 1 million copies, spending 9 weeks on the Billboard Top 20. Additionally, he released singles like Julie Do You Love Me, Easy Come, Easy Go, Jennifer, and La 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 If I Had You, and The Drum. While he toured over the years, Sherman performed his last solo in 2001. After a guest appearance on the show Emergency in 1974, Sherman decided to pursue a different career path and trained as a paramedic in Los Angeles. For over a decade, he worked as a medical training officer for the Los Angeles Police Academy. He landed the title of LAPD Technical Reserve Officer in the 1990s and received the Reserve Officer of the Year award in 1999. In 2010, he retired from the Sheriff's Department. Well, thank you, sir, for your service, and I think possibly being a guy that my mom had a crush on. Now, I will have to double check with my mom and his crush, ness. But, I mean, he has beautiful blue eyes, and his haircut says, I need to speak to your manager. And then the terry cloth, zip down polo says, I am here for you, for sexiness. And if you spill some tang, I also got you. Terry cloth? I know people are going to make fun of our fashion in years to come. Like, oh my gosh, does she have a middle part? Does she have a side part? Like, I can't, I can't even imagine what people are going to say of our fashion. But, well, if you had on your bingo card that the CIA would confirm that the Ark of the Covenant exists, as they have used remote viewing to figure it out, then you, my friend, have won the internet today. Now, it will take 6 to 8 weeks for me to box it up, and I wouldn't open any of them boxes that say dark web on it, but you know, I'm not your mom. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But what in the Dale Gribble is this headline? Because y'all know I saw it and I was like, oh, we are clicking. I was like, clickinate. CIA has confirmed Ark of the Covenant's existence using remote viewing, resurfaced declassified documents claimed. MLS, I don't think so, but you know, I have had a couple few margaritas in my life, so you know, never say never. And thank you, Alice G. Uh, you know, every once in a while, my hair does what it is supposed to do, and those are Christmas miracles, and we just go with those, like Lenten miracles. Paging Dr. Indiana Jones, the CIA claimed to have confirmed the existence of the Ark of the Covenant by way of remote viewing, as I do everything, aka extrasensory perception or ESP, alleging that the mysterious and sacred object is guarded by entities of an unknown power, a recently resurfaced declassified document claims. Now, I was born in the wrong century or the wrong time because I would have loved to have been like 11. I mean, except for the shaved head. Look, I'm pretty sure I have a divoty head. There's no way I'm going to pull off the whole shaved head thing. But honest to goodness, give me some, you know, LSD and let me pretend to notice things with my mind. This is a government program I could get behind. Yes, definitely, absolutely. We must make this happen. A meetup of, you know, a Swede, a Michigander, and a Hoosier walked into a bar. It will really happen one day. Join us for a meetup. In a remote viewing session on December 5th, 1988, remote viewer number 32 was tasked with identifying a target that, while unbeknownst to them, ended up being the storied Ark of the Covenant, according to the document, which was declassified on August 8th, 2000, and has been circulating on social media. Well, why is it just coming to light now? So it looks like project number TNG 2 or 0209, access and describe the target identified by coordinate number. Uh, Training target 0209 is the Ark of the Covenant. Viewer 032 attained excellent site contact, doing very well with stage 4 structure. Viewer also exhibits the ability to keep AOL to a minimum. Well, I mean, we all got Yahoo. That's how we kept AOL to a minimum. Have to be careful with editing, though. This does not seem to be a problem at this time, just something to watch for. I have taken off the little filtery thing that they're trying to jazz, so I don't know what is going on with the video. The target is a container. This container has another container inside of it, so this must be what they tell them. The target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver. The target is similar in shape to AOL, a coffin, and is decorated with seraphim. Okay, yeah, once you give that rough thing, they're gonna know it's the Ark of the Covenant, or you're trying to watch Raiders of the Lost Ark with, you know, Indiana Jones. That being said, The target is located somewhere in the Middle East, as the language spoken by individuals present seem to be Arabic. Visuals of surrounding buildings indicate the presence of mosque domes, see page 12. Individuals in the area were clothed in virtually all white and had black hair and dark eyes. One figure I honed in on wore a mustache. Well, I mean, there, we found him. He has a mustache. No more, no future problems needed. The target is hidden underground in a dark, wet place where all aspects of the location of the target. The purpose of the target is to bring people together, see page 16. It has something to do with ceremony, memory, homage, and the resurrection. There is an aspect of spirituality, information, lessons, and historical knowledge far beyond that we know now. The target is protected by entities, see page 14, and it can only be opened now by those who are authorized to do so. This container will not or cannot be opened until the time is deemed correct. Once it is time to open the container, the mechanics of the lock system will be found fairly simple. Individuals opening the container by prying or striking are destroyed by the container's protectors. Interesting. I mean, also, I did see the Raiders of the Lost Ark, so, I mean, I could have also got that too. Also, wow, I mean, that's some pretty handwriting. Wide, high, low, interesting. Well, I mean, like I said, I think we have all seen the Raiders of the Lost Ark and know not to, touch it. No titchy. It's a killdozer. All right, let's get back to the article. Now, logistically, when a remote viewer is tasked with searching for a target, the desired object is written down on a piece of paper and put into an envelope. The remote viewer does not know what is written and is guided through a process by another person. Retired U.S. Army Chief Warren Joe McMonigal explained. Information collected under this protocol is the only information that can be identified as remote viewing, he said. Now, he said AKA 1 or Remote Viewer 1 was the first to do psychic phenomena experiments for the CIA, and he's not convinced by the exercise memorialized in the declassified document. Remote Viewer number 32's vision described somewhere in the Middle East. Like I said, it sounds like you watched Indiana Jones, but that's just me. Now, the channel, or let's see here. Using remote viewing against any target for which ground truth does not exist or is impossible to obtain, such as UFOs, UAPs, the surface of Mars, or locations of historical relics, is a waste of time and resources, McGonigal told the Post. Well, that's because they didn't use transfiguration. I mean, McGonigal has already said she has no, time or truck with the, psychic arts. I mean, she hates Trelawney. I don't know why we asked her son. If someone claims that remote viewing proves the existence of something, such as the Ark of the Covenant, they must produce the Ark to substantiate their claim. The world's foremost expert on the matter gave further context for the exercise recorded by the CIA in the 1980s. In this case, it's a training target done on a whim, he said, adding, I would challenge the entire practice session as a bogus. No one attempted to ascertain the ground truth of the material, and everything said was accepted on its unknown and unverified merit. Now, McGonigal famously received a Legion of Merit for using remote viewing to identify a secret Russian warship that was being developed in a landlocked building during the Cold War. Currently, the Ark of the Covenant is a legendary tale, and if they produce the actual Ark based on the information, it will be a surprise to me as well as many others. Now, the Ark of the Covenant is said to have held the 10 Commandments that were brought down for Moses from Mount Sinai. So there you go. One remote viewer says it's bullshit, and the other one says we found the Ark of the Covenant. So, do with that what you will. Well, I would like to let you all know that protesting has entered its healthy at any size mode. Y'all, what was I supposed to put down as a headline? Fluffy man rams Tesla. Now activism is handy capable. I mean, dear tiny baby Jeebus, you are trying to get me to go to heaven, and yet you send me stories like this gentleman on his handy capable, all terrain rascal. Oh my God. A Texas menace is accused of ramming a mini four wheeler into parked Teslas in a chaotic spree. An ATV riding Texan with a massive problem, or was a massive problem to Tesla owners when he allegedly rammed his four wheeler into multiple cars during an unprovoked hit and scoot spree on Tuesday. Marquise, Cox was arrested after one of his alleged attacks was recorded by the Tesla he purposely ran into, police in Texarkana, Texas announced. The 33-year-old allegedly spotted the electric vehicle sitting in the parking lot of the Golden Palace Chinese buffet. Oh no, he was not coming out of the China buffet too. God, you're making this story too tailor-made to get me to say all the things that are going to keep me out of heaven. Don't stop. This is entrapment, y'all. This is entrapment. Jesus was like, "You need to be a nice person." And then he hands me a headline like this, and he's like, "Do not be tempted, my child, for I will tempt you mightily." And I'm like, but God, he came out of a China buffet. How can you not make this any more funny? After being fueled up on MSG and soy sauce, he was rage-filled. Now, Cox loaded back and rammed head on into the side of the red Tesla, according to video obtained by KTBS. Now, the 5'2", 449-pound driver left noticeable damage to the front driver's side door. Owner Vitriala Karstaffen told the outlet. Now, Karstaffen, who was alerted to the attack by a phone notification, said she would have to shell out over $1,000 to replace the entire door. Police were called to the area after Cox's rampage when a second Tesla was damaged at a nearby Lowe's. The Texarkana Police Department said, "There's a fat man on a road rage rascal. He's killing. It's all the humanity, the Tesla and the big man." Now, the four-wheel menace was stopped by cops just a mile south of the Golden Palace as an officer recognized Cox from the Chinese buffet video. I mean, although he did do a pretty ridiculous job to this car. Now, Cox allegedly claimed to be a different morbidly sized person and provided a false name during his initial interrogation with the police. However, officers didn't, fall for the cocky attitude and arrested the man. Now, based on what they had seen in the video, they knew for a fact that he was the one who at least hit the initial Tesla. Texarkana Police Public Information Officer Sean Vaughn told the outlet. Now, he has been charged with felony criminal mischief resulting in damage between $2,500 and $30,000 and a failure to identify, police announced. A third damaged Tesla was reported after the arrest. I kind of want his scooter thing. Like, I wouldn't feel... You know what? Instead of getting one of them rascals, I'm just going to get me a mini dirt bike thingy-mabob like he got. I don't want to feel differently abled, but I'm going to feel really powerful in my little dirt, ATV. Now, the yet-to-be-determined suspect carved Elon into the side of the other two cars, seemingly a reference to Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk. Now, Cox has only been charged with damaging the first car, but officials said that an investigation is ongoing and he may face more charges. He is being held at the bi-state justice. Damn it, all to hell. There is no way. Lord, look, I'm gonna have to start over tomorrow. This man, this giant man is on a baby ATV that looks like it might have been put together during Road Rage, a Mad Max story. And he has his cane in his back like his own daggone, two-handed Highlander sword. And he's going out and he's attacking Teslas after he went to get, a mighty, social justice warrior meal from the China buffet. What in the world? And he's being held at the Bi-State Justice Center? You can't make this shit up. This is just real enough to be current day true life. Oh, oh, Professor Clump from the Nutty Professor. How is this not... Okay, who messed with the Matrix last night? Joe Rogan, how high were you last night when you plugged the Matrix back in? Because what the hell is this? Now, he does have a $105,000 bond, according to jail records. Now, Cox's stunt is the latest violent assault against the Elon Musk-owned company following the billionaire's, work inside the Trump administration. So there you go. Doesn't look like he's, going to get away with it. He couldn't disappear into thin air, I guess. In heartbreaking news, and gird your earloins, yes, gird your earloins, because Lord Chippy is coming out for this one. Lord Chippy is needed. We are going extra slow with this one, Lord Chippy attendance, extra. All right, this human sweat stain, this absolute redonkulous piece of human filth. Missing Ohio girl, only 13, was found not alive, raped with her hands cut off. Animal father arrested after shoot off out with cops. Now, I want to, go ahead and put that, like my jurisprudence hat on and say everyone is considered innocent until charged guilty. But I kind of don't give a flippin' flapjack about it at this point. But we will read, because, I'm kind of okay with Lord Chippy after a cursory investigation. But this hits with, I don't, when you do something to children, just no. No, no. A 13-year-old Ohio girl was discovered murdered, raped, and with her hands severed inside an abandoned home. And police shot and arrested her quote-unquote animal father, who had appeared on television to raise awareness about her disappearance the next day. Now, Kiamani Latigue's mutilated body was found in a burnt-out house in Toledo on Monday, 6 days after her family reported her missing, in what one cop described as one of the most horrific cases I have ever heard. And welcome, 80s Music Man. And Jeff Montgomery. Yes, it does. I will work on that. This is an absolute animal that came into our town, Columbus Police Lieutenant Brian Steele told WCHM. Now, Steele said Kimani, who was just days away from her 14th birthday, was found with her hands removed and her head nearly removed from her body on the second floor of a vacant home. Authorities determined that the teenager had also been assaulted. Now, an autopsy on Tuesday confirmed that she died of multiple incised wounds of the neck, according to the coroner's office. While family members were pleading with the public to help find her, her father, Darnell Jones, appeared on local television and said that he had last seen his daughter the night of March 16th after she called him to say she was scared to be home alone. It seemed like someone was trying to break into the home, the 33-year-old claimed his daughter told him, and he said he drove over to the house around 12:30 a.m. Now, Kimani lived with her grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, who was not home at the time, and two dogs. So this is the human poop stain that the police had to get into a, incident with. Now, Kimani's mother, uh, Tari Kaston, said she last seen her daughter on March 15th when Jones brought the girl to her home. Apparently, my mother gave him permission, and honestly, it was just loving on my child. We played video games, she told WTVG. She said that Kimani would only go to school, play basketball, and go home. When Dorothy Latigue came home, she found the home in disarray, with the teen's underclothing by the couch and her pajamas on the dining room floor. The stove was on, and Kimani's keys and glasses, which she could not see without, were still there, the grieving grandmother told WTVG. Now, after Jones gave inconsistent statements to the Toledo police about Kimani's whereabouts and what the two did together, cops issued a warrant for his arrest on Sunday, according to charging documents. Now, when her body was discovered the following day, authorities additionally charged Jones, who was on the run, with murder and felonious assault. Now, officials have not identified a motive for the disturbing killing. Jones was tracked down in Columbus, about 2 hours south of Toledo, where he was shot in a SWAT team operation. Now, police claim that he had a gun. It is not clear if Jones shot at officers, but none were injured. He was taken to the hospital where he underwent surgery, and a vehicle believed to be connected to the case was also seized as well. Now, the horrific murder has left the Toledo community shaken. A spokesperson for the Toledo Public Schools said Kimani was due to be presented with a kindness award this week and had been on her elementary school's honor roll. The students and staff at Spring Elementary are saddened by the loss of her friend and classmate, Kimani Latigue, a TPS spokesperson told WTVG. So, yeah, we will probably watch this case on the Petty Express, and we will give no quarter to this douche canoe. Well, if you need some cheering up after that, here's a little silver lining to that nuclear cloud that we just listened to. The city-destroying asteroid won't hit Earth in 2023, so yay! We're safe from the killer asteroid, which means we have to go through another presidential election. Ugh. I mean, I don't know. Pick your poison. Seems like asteroid would be, well, quicker and less painless. And welcome, Shizzy Raiders. So we could experience a rock market crash. Asteroid 2024 YR4 will not hit the Earth in December 2023, or I'm sorry, 2032, but that doesn't mean we're out of the woods forever. Researchers warn that city killer space rock could approach our planet again in the future, while another extinction causing asteroid could potentially threaten Earth as well, according to the conversation. I mean, there are plenty of asteroids in the sea, Earth. I'm sure we'll find our perfect match. I know. This is what I was hoping on. On February 19th, asteroid YR4, which measures between 131 to 295 feet in diameter, had an impact risk factor of 3.1%, making it the most dangerous space rocks since the inception of NASA's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies Century Risk Table over 10 years ago. Now, the collision probability dropped down to 0.0017 just a week later, effectively rendering us safe for the time being. But the asteroid's unique orbit means it could potentially rock our world in the future. YR4 is part of a class of asteroids called resonant asteroids, which are trapped in a trajectory that puts it within close proximity of Earth every couple years, increasing the likelihood of it hitting home, according to the Daily Galaxy. Now, this fluctuating movement pattern is due to Jupiter's gravitational pull, which alters the orbit of these asteroids over time. So, while YR4 won't threaten us in the foreseeable future, resonant asteroids like YR4 could theoretically pose a threat to us at any moment, depending on their flight path. Now, thankfully, after missing us in 2032, the heavily monitored asteroid's next approach to Earth is slated for 2052, although that's not set in stone, so to speak. And Zach, thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. Why aren't rocks in space called hemorrhoids and bumps on your butt called asteroids? Well, because I'm guessing an asteroid was taken first. I mean, because would you rather name your butt ailment or a star? I mean, when you consider that they thought that they were divine, beings, I would rather name a star or an asteroid than my butt ailments. Thank you so much. So there you go. We've missed one asteroid, but one day our prince will come. And when you see the mugshot, you kind of think, yeah, this looks like someone that would do that. Yeah. Like when you see the mugshot and you're like, not shocked, not shocked. Let's see. She became ill. A man spiked his co-worker's cokes with super glue and got caught on a hidden camera. Well, I mean, at least it wasn't Visine this time. I don't know why everyone has forgotten about antifreeze, but here lately it seems to be that Visine is, the latest in future Lifetime movies, killer weapon of choice. A 34-year-old man in Milwaukee has been arrested after he was allegedly caught putting super glue in the soda of one of his coworkers at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. He does kind of look like a carny now that you put it out there. Now, Joseph R. Ross was taken into custody last week and charged with one felony count of placing foreign objects in edibles, court records reviewed by Law and Crime Show. Now, according to a probable cause affidavit, officers with the Wisconsin State Farm Park Police at around 11 a.m. on March 20th were conducting a foot patrol when an identifier referred to in the document as J.H. made contact with them and requested a private conversation. Now, during the conversation, J.H. told the officer that approximately 2 to 3 weeks ago, J.H. suspected that her beverages on her desk had been contaminated by a chemical substance. J.H. was made aware of the contamination due to the strong chemical smell and taste. She stated upon consumption of those beverages, she became ill. Moreover, J.H. did not consent to have anyone place anything in her drink. Now, due to those events, J.H. said that she set up a surveillance camera at her desk earlier in the morning to see if anyone had been putting something in her drink. At approximately 9:52 a.m., J.H.'s camera captured her coworker, whom J.H. shares an office with, Joseph R. Ross, hereinafter the defendant put a foreign substance into her soft drink. Now she shared the footage with officers. Yeah, it smelled and tasted like chemicals, so look, a 24-pack of Coke is like a house mortgage payment. Besides, you never know where they're going to trick us and, try to bring back Coke Zero or Coke Crystal or something like that. Now, in an interview, or the footage allegedly showed Ross holding a brown and orange tube with a white nozzle and putting that a liquid substance into her open can of Coke on her desk. Police said while allegedly putting the substance in the Coke, Ross could be seen wearing latex gloves on both hands that he later discarded. Well, sir, all the gloves in the world aren't going to help you if they've got you on camera. That being said, in an interview with authorities, Ross allegedly admitted to placing a supplement in his coworker's drink. Yeah, Gorilla Glue, the supplement of all women. Now, officers then executed a search warrant on Ross's office and the surrounding area. Now, during that search, they reportedly recovered a set of clear protective gloves that were wadded into a ball. When the officers unraveled the gloves, the officers found that each contained an item. One glove contained a blue plastic cap, while the other glove contained a super glue container. Oh my god, it was Gorilla brand glue. He didn't go great value, ma'am. He thought of you. He spent $8 on some super glue to poison you, ma'am. He could have gone great value. Now, they did recover a Gorilla brand super glue, which they noted had a warning on the label, keep out of reach of children due to the harm of ingestion. Now, JH's can of Coke was then collected and sent to the Wisconsin Crime Lab for testing. Records indicate that Ross is currently being held at the Milwaukee County Jail in lieu of a $10,000 bond. Now, should he be released, a judge would also order him to have no contact with the victim. Now, if convicted, he is facing a maximum penalty of 3.5 years in a state prison and a fine of up to $10,000. The man doesn't have $10,000 to, get himself out of prison like he's going to have $10,000 to give her. Good morning, Indigo. I know. I'm just shocked he didn't use Visine, if I'm honest. Because, where is the next one I need to? You guys, I saw this headline and y'all knew I wasn't going to let it up, but a mind-warped sea lion charges after a surfer in terrifying attacks. I don't know how to describe the fear. All I'm thinking of is a high as balls sea lion. And I'm thinking of a small sea lion. I'm sure they're terrifying in the ocean. But all I'm thinking is a high as balls sea lion was trying to attack someone. How is that not funny? He thought his fate was sealed. Okay, New York Post, that's enough of that. That is totally enough of that. You're on warning for that one. It's not just sharks that surfers have to watch out for these days. A California wave shredder was shaken to his core after being mauled by a sea lion. And I shouldn't be laughing, but I'm just thinking, orf, 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 and then him just, having to swim. I am a terrible person. This is why I'm going straight to Hades, because people are like, pain and suffering, and I'm like, but was it funny? Was shaken to his core after being mauled by a sea lion that was purportedly warped on toxic algae plaguing the coast, as detailed in a Facebook post making a splash online. Quote, today I endured the most harrowing and traumatic experience of my 20 years of surfing. Photographer and explorer R.J. Lamandola captioned on the post recalling the attack. The Ventura resident said that he was surfing about 150 yards from the shore at Oxnard State Beach Park when, out of nowhere, the mammal erupted from the water and hurtled at him full speed like an aquatic Cujo. I know. You would think like a Bengal tiger because it's a sea lion. Its mouth gaped wide, teeth flashing, and its eyes locked onto me with unsettling ferocity, recalled the shocked surfer. My heart lurched. As I instinctively yanked my board to the side, paddling frantically to evade it as it barreled forward, intent on crashing into me. I mean, he gets it, with dramatic. I love reading dramatical tales. He added, I barely dodged that first charge, my breath catching as I spun around, desperate to head for shore. But the blubbery beast then disappeared into the drink from whence it came. But that was the only beginning of the dramatics. I love how they have this. I mean, it doesn't look scary to me. I mean, that being said, I'm not invading its home turf pretending I know how to, surf. Like the moment after the horror movie's false climax, the sea lion charged again with its teeth bared, like some deranged predator. This time it slammed into my board with unbelievable force, diving beneath me in one swift, fluid arc that sent a shiver down my spine. Wrote Lamond. Mr. Mendola, have you ever thought about writing young adult fiction? Because I think you're right about there. So if you want me to, do the voice acting for it, I am there. But my day at like Surf Terror, the sea lion attack story, like if you'd like me to read it for you, I am here with bells on. I would like a 15% cut of the take and points on the back end. You can talk to my people. This time, oh, and this was something else entirely, something wrong, said the shaken boarder. However, what had started a vicious cycle of the possessed critter repeatedly backing off and then charging the helpless surfer, forcing him to shield himself with his board and swim back to shore between attacks. During one of the 4 or so confrontations, La Mandola attempted to sock his assailant, only for it to dodge its clumsy strike. It's like, boy, you can't hit me. So he was like, put your dukes up. I ain't gonna take this no more. He dodged the clumsy strike with eerie agility. The animal then wheeled around and clamped its jaws around the waterman's left butt cheek. That's it. I'm going straight to hell. Are we actually doing a story about a deranged, high as balls sea lion that got a surfer's buttocks? Where is Forrest Gump when you need him? That's it. God, this was all entrapment. I see how you is. You're like, be a good person. My motive today was to be a good person. That was supposed to be my motivational quote for my stupid Jesus take the wheel, calendar. And then you're like, okay, I'm also going to give you a sizely American on a rascal breaking Teslas coming out of the Chinese buffet. And while I'm at it, I'm going to get you a sea lion that doesn't takes off a man writing for young adult romance novels on his buttocks. Well, I'm done. I'm done, you guys. I can't. Before dragging him off his board and into the drink. I don't know how to describe the fear that gripped me in that moment, recalled the survival. So far from shore, so helpless, staring into the face of this creature that looked like nothing I'd ever seen. Its expression was feral, almost demonic, devoid of the curiosity or playfulness I'd always associated with sea lions. After a grueling interspecies battle, Jesus. I mean, interspecies battle, La Mandola managed to swim ashore, claiming that the incensed squid swallower wouldn't stop stalking and charged him until his feet finally scraped the sand. The victim's suit was shredded where had been bitten him. He shared the exposed puncture wound. Oh, please show me the puncture wound. I'm here for the puncture wound. What the hell? No, you did not just not show the puncture wound. and blood was trickling down his leg to hit the sand. Now, he subsequently drove himself to the emergency room. Oh my God, this poor man. He probably had to feel like me when I walked into urgent care after I had been walking and got startled by a deer. So when the little emergency doctor's like, okay, okay, so what happened? How did you hurt yourself? And he's like, dude, it was epic. Let me tell you, it was a sea lion and I was there, and it was like Jaws. Now, when he contacted the Channel Islands Marine and Wildlife Institute to report to the attack, they replied that they had seen a surge of incidents across Santa Barbara and Ventura County involving sea lions and other marine animals affected by the dominant acid toxidosis, a neurological disorder caused by toxic algae. Now dubbed pseudo this organism can produce a neurotoxin called domic acid, or DA, which can accumulate in filter feeding shellfish, finfish, and zooplankton, according to the U.S. National Office for Harmful Algae Blooms. I didn't know we had a whole U.S. office. Do we have a U.S. office for people that annoy you by smacking loudly with their eating? Because I need to get in charge of that office. Now, when tainted sardines or other creatures are consumed by marine mammals, the acid causes them to become aggressive and unpredictable, among other symptoms. Domic acid can cause animals to act erratically, and they can be dangerous when infected with this neurotoxin. For Lamandola, the realization has made his encounter tragic as well as terrifying. The sea lion that attacked me wasn't just acting out. It was sick. It was mind warped by this poison coursing through its system, he said. Knowing that doesn't erase the terror, but it adds a layer of sadness to the fear. The sea resident is far from the only victim of the affliction. Marine life care centers across Southern California have been reporting an increase in the number of stranded dolphins and sick seals, which they have attributed to the toxic algal scourge. Meanwhile, humans who consume seafood contaminated with domic acid can suffer from amnesic shellfish poisoning. Do what now? Does this mean if I eat a bunch of scrimps? Because I don't know about y'all, but Red Lobster is supposed to be having a shrimp, all you can eat shrimp thing coming up here. And I just need to know if I'm going to end up going crazy. Although, if the amnesia is just totally to like a bunch of things I don't want to remember, then I'm kind of like, give me the shrimps. Now, this particular, poisoning can cause symptoms ranging from gastrointestinal illness to seizures and even death. There is no known antidote or cure for ASP, and while recovery is possible, some of the effects of domic acid in humans can be permanent. So maybe Jeffrey Montgomery, I think in the Midwest they underestimated our ability to decimate some seafood. That they definitely did. They were not counting on the Midwest. Now, I have absolutely no idea what this is doing, but this is an actual woman and this is a wedding dress. Now, if you've ever dreamed of people walking underneath you to get into your own wedding, this is the dress for you. I mean, I don't know why. Internet was shocked and confused by a larger than life wedding dress. See the towering gown with a tunnel. Yeah, I don't get it, but I don't understand fashion. Thousands of people online were left in awe and confusion by a giant wedding dress display. Austin Alexander Warshaw, CEO and creative director of bridal fashion house Austin Alexander, posted a video on Instagram on March 16th of a woman in a towering wedding dress. The dress propped the veiled woman up so high in the air to allow people to walk through the arched space underneath her cascading white skirt. The bride says, "I want a grand entrance," Warshaw wrote on an on-screen overlay, adding in the caption, "Brides beware, we may give you exactly what you asked for." She said she wanted to make a statement. Well, nothing says she's, a lady in the street and a freak in the bed by having a skirt that you just walk through. Because, as you do. The designer's video quickly went viral, amassing 62,000 likes. His post was shared more than 26,000 times and has 500 comments and counting. Other accounts reshared the clip on various platforms, such as TikTok, where it got even more attention, with one post garnering over more than 500,000 views. Without context, social media users were left puzzled. They took Warsaw's words literally, with many believing it was an actual bride in the dramatic wedding dress contraption. Nice way to get attention or attention. If you want to get my husband, you'll have to go through me. But it turns out that it was more for a bridal dress, fashion show kind of thing. Which is weird because it reminds me of those creepy Russian Matryoshka dolls. That being said, I don't get fashion. I don't think it's for me, so there you go. Because I didn't know that you were supposed to wear a lampshade from the best little whorehouse in Texas on your head. Now, that being said, that's a great Dolly Parton movie if you want to see her and Burt Reynolds in your wildest fever dream. There you go. Now, our final story. Well, sometimes spring break can go a little too far. And I mean, this Florida man, are we shocked? Are we shocked that spring break in Florida man would be a thing? But this 21-year-old Rhodes Scholar apparently drove his dad's car into the ocean. Yes, that's right. The ocean. Like Free Willy. He was like, be free. He was in the middle of the little, water break, and he's like, come on, SUV, you can do it. A 21-year-old Floridian who was angry at his father drove the older man's vehicle into the ocean earlier today. Well, that'll show your dad. Dad, you're so mean to me. I'm going to put your car into the ocean. All right. Investigators say that Joshua Cuss had borrowed his father's car but failed to return the vehicle to his parents' Jacksonville Beach residence. Now, around 2 a.m., cops received a report of an auto in the ocean, according to an arrest report. Now, upon arriving at the beach, officers spotted a gray Subaru floating in the water. Elsewhere in the report, the car is correctly identified as a 2011 Volvo XC70. Now, police soon located Cuss since his father had been pinging the location of his son's phone. Now, Cuss copped to the ocean littering, saying he sought to use a cinder block to send the car into the ocean. When that failed, he got into the car and drove it into the water. He reportedly turned on all the lights to make sure that no one was nearby before accelerating the vehicle into the ocean. Well, that's nice. He looked to make sure he wasn't going to run over Ariel. You are a humanitarian there, son. Now, after departing the beach, Cuss, seen above, walked to his mother's nearby house. Now, Cuss's parents divorced in 2023. After his father decided to press charges, Cuss was arrested on felony criminal mischief. John Cuss, 60, reported a loss of $6,500 on the submerged, car. Now, Cuss is being held in county jail in lieu of a $2,500 bond. On January 2022, Cuss pled no contest to a DUI charge and was sentenced to 12 months of probation. It's obviously done wonders. Just wonders. Cuss, who was 18 at the time, was driving his father's Volvo when collared. In a letter to his son's sentencing judge, Cuss wrote that Joshua has a lot of work ahead of him, and I can only hope that he learns from his mistake and turns it into a good life lesson. Well, it's spoiler alert, sir. He doesn't. And I would write him out of the will, okay? He done already got a car. Just write him out. And Joshua, maybe pull your head out of your ass. Like, the good thing is that you can be a 21-year-old asshole, but you don't have to be an asshole for the rest of your life. So kindly consider reaching between your legs and doing a big hard yank on your head out of your butt, okay? Just a thought. Yeah, no one's ever going to let him borrow the car again. And you guys, that is where I'm going to end Mornings with Mo today. We do have Petty Express on a brand new retrial coming at us. We have got Michigan versus, oh gosh, what's her name? Linda Sturmer. Now, this will be a retrial. A Michigan woman is standing trial for the second time on charges that she beat her husband and set him on fire and ran him over with their van. Now, she was initially sentenced to life without parole in 2010, but her conviction was overturned in 2018 when her attorneys argued that she didn't receive a fair trial. Now, according to prosecutors, Linda hit Todd with an object in his sleep on the night of January 7th, 2007, before setting blaze, to their Lawrence, Michigan home. Now, Todd managed to run out of the front door with his upper body engulfed in flames before Linda allegedly ran him over. Now, according to documents obtained by Court TV, Tom was determined to have died from a combination of blunt force injuries and thermal injuries. He had sustained 4 lacerations to the scalp, 2 rib fractures before being burned. Investigators concluded that Todd had been run over when they discovered his blood on the van's bumper. At her 2010 trial, Linda was convicted of first-degree premeditated murder and felony murder, but she maintains that she was in the basement doing laundry when all of this happened. Laundry defense. Interesting. So there you guys go. That is what we will be going through with the Petty Express, and it only started like very shortly ago. So we are on current day. Like, this never happens. This is a Lenten miracle. And we might have a very special guest on the Petty Express. I have sent out feelers to both Flux and Vice Baby to join us on the Petty Express today. So they may show, they may not, but hopefully I am trying to get better at inviting other people onto stuff. So hopefully you enjoy the Petty Express. It is a retrial. It is Michigan, so we know there's going to be crazy. And I mean, who doesn't love a case where a woman's defense and alibi is, y'all, I was doing laundry. Like, Maytag man and me have an alibi. I mean, that would be my only guess. But I will see you guys there with bells on. Petty Express will be running today at 10. I am going to go make sure that the feral young ones have breakfast. Get a good start to all of you guys' day. Thank you for joining Mornings with Mo. Remember to make sure that you are still subscribed, especially to myself and other creators that you like. I know they would greatly appreciate that, because YouTube likes to think that you don't love us no more. And I know that you love us. Yes, but not until once you move over to the dark side with the rest of us on daylight savings time, we'll be there. Bye, you guys. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but carry a can of bitch fire and a sassy mouth, because kindness no longer equals doormat. Bye, you guys.